The most frequently asked question we receive on the blog is what is the most expeditious way to research and negotiate your treasury and cash management fees? Critically important is doing this without an RFP, pricing dances, or moving your business. To do that, you have to answer three important questions. What are the ways banks make money? How do you research these items? And how do you negotiate these items? Because if you can do this with pinpoint accuracy, you've eliminated the noise on both sides of the process and have the ability to create a win-win for you and your provider. So digging in, what are the ways that banks make money in treasury management? The first is on the fees that they charge. This is known as analysis fees, service charges, or even P times V or price times volume. Essentially, it's the price that they charge you for something multiplied by the number of times it uses service. So if you have a lockbox priced at $200 each, and you have 10 of them, well, the fee that the bank charges you is $2,000. It's your price times your volume gives you your fee. Next ways that banks make money in treasury management is float. This is the value that the bank makes on your money as they're processing it. When a bank takes your check deposit, they need time to negotiate that check with the issuer to make sure the funds are all there. Well, to do this, the bank assigns what they call a float schedule to your deposit based upon where the check was issued, when it was deposited, and how long your account has been around. But in the end, if the bank says it will take 4 days to clear the check, but it only takes them 2, well, the 2 days of float on your money, they get to keep that for themselves. It's pretty good to know, right? Last, they make money on the spread on your deposits. That's the difference between what they earn on your deposits versus what they pay. Whether the bank gives you hard earnings or soft earnings credit, these funds are worth more to them than what they get to you. The difference between what the bank earns on those funds and what they pay you is known as a spread on your deposits. Another good one to know, right? Your next objective will be how do you research these three items? Bank fees are just like the price of cars. Not that a financial institution wants to be referred to as car salesman, but stick with me for a second. Because bank fees have blue book pricing, just like a car. There's one by Phoenix Ect and one by AFP. You can download either off the internet for a small fee, but that may be worth your investment. Float is a simple prospect. Just ask your provider for a float schedule. Now, they may give you a cross-eyed look because most people are not savvy enough to ask for it. Now, don't expect an actual spreadsheet to come across your desk, but instead what you want to understand is what schedule you're assigned to, what higher or better ones you could be moved to, and what will it take to get you there. Remember that time value money principle from your accounting and finance courses back in college? Well, the principles will make you some money here. Last, let's dig into your spread. Now, this one is a bit more difficult to surmise. You see, it changes from bank to bank and it's such coveted information that they usually don't like to share it. But there's a couple of ways that you can look for this information. First, you have the internet. There's some sites such as bankrate.com and a few others that will give you the current market rates for CDs, money markets, and the like. Do some quick comparison and contrast there. Second, look at the trends of other indices such as Fed funds, treasuries, LIBOR rate, prime rates, etc. Your rate should follow these but not necessarily match. So if you know if they go up, so should yours. Last, you understand the bank's cost of funds. This is the most telling of details that you can get, and it's not entirely that difficult to find. Banks typically report this information somewhere. If it's not in their financials, it's in their 10Ks or 10Q that they file with the federal government. So go pull up your web browser, search for that information, and you should be able to pull that information up pretty quickly. Now, since these documents are usually PDFs, which are easily searchable, download them off the internet, pull them up, plug in a variation of cost of funds or cost of capital, and voila, you have some very telling information. And why are the cost of funds so telling? Because that's essentially what they're making in your funds. So do the math. Their cost of funds minus the rate that they're paying you is the spread. Talk about a game changer, right? Now, we've seen hundreds of negotiations, and there's some definite do's and don'ts of negotiating. So to keep it simple, we're going to give you our top 5. Don't be combative. Remember that this is a long-term relationship, and you typically both need each other, at least at one point or another. When people lead with a, I want my cake and eat it too, it undermines the process. Instead, seek reaffirming positions that you can build a trusting relationship upon. Using positive reinforcement really sets the best groundwork. Appreciate the relationship you've had with them so far and outline it. Remember the time that they did something for you and they were there for you? Or remember the time that you did something for them and you were there for them? It's been great having a banking partner like that in your corner, and you want to build upon that. Next, make your case. Outline all the other business that you have. Banks like to know they have a good share of wallet with you. So what about the business that they don't have that they could be getting, or possibly positioned with the company that they covet they'd like to have? Or maybe there's ability for them to be the bank of default going forward. Utilize it all. Next, you want to seek ways to be creative. Remember that the art of the deal is sometimes not about the price, but about the terms. Seek to modify the rate of the price and possibly look for ways to lock it in for a longer period of time. Alternatively, you can put a ceiling or floor in place, or maybe have it dependent upon other pieces of the relationship. In all, you have lots of options at your disposal. Next, you want to keep your demands reasonable. I want this to be free forever will be met with a lot of resistance. But instead, outline that you're paying for a service that is an unusual event or a one-time happening could give you reason to waive or zero price that fee. If not forever, then at least temporarily. Last, you want to point out the competition. Now, it's not that you want to solicit proposals from other banks. In actuality, we discourage that because you don't want to get your other bankers' hopes up. But if you have any market intelligence, definitely use it. Sometimes simply knowing that a bank is calling on you is enough to provide motivation you're probably looking for from your financial provider. In summary, if you know how your bank is making money, can understand exactly how much that they're making, and at the end offer us some great win-win options, then everyone's happy.